Okay, I'm taking a look at Sharath's game. He's the player on the right side here, and he had a few questions where he was really struggling with playing in elite and open divisions. Even though he feels like, with lower level players he's doing great, but when he gets up to that higher level, he feels like he's not in the game. So he was wondering if it's something with the mechanics or fundamentals, or if it's mental. So let's take a look at this video and see what we can find to help Sharath out. I like that he's going for the cutoff on the lob serve there. That's good. He just missed this one. Nice shot, just way too high. You really don't want it to be coming all the way around. So let's see if I can remember how to do this with YouTube. Let's see if I can remember how to do slow motion with YouTube. So let's see. Okay, let's take a look at his balance on this return. By the way, I think it's great, especially in practice games, to just work on cutting off and being aggressive on just about every lob serve you get. And right now he's doing a good job. Nothing wrong with this return except that he hits it a bit too high. All right, so Sharath's getting ready to hit a drive serve here, so let's take a look at this drive serve. Okay. One frame at a time. So far, I mean, the drive serve mechanics don't look all that bad. Everything's pretty good. What I don't like right here is that if you look at your head, it looks like you're not really looking at the ball right now. It looks like you're looking at the front right corner or something like that. So, I mean, you're probably looking at the ball in the corner of your eye, but I'd like to see your head just forward and watching your ball contact the strings more. See, look at this. So now if you look at the head right there, it looks like you're not even close to looking at the ball. You're definitely looking forward here. So that's an easy fix. Just watch the ball hit the strings more consistently. I mean, especially on your serve. There's really no excuse to miss it on your serve. And that'll help, be more consistent, obviously, in hitting the sweet spot, and also keep you better balanced in the serve. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty good drive serve. Just got to get it over the line. Probably want to work on, consistency with those. Lob serve. This lob nick is way too short, right? You probably know that. You probably missed it. So it's another consistency thing. You want to get more consistent with the lob nick. You want that lob nick to be way closer to the back wall when Paul's looking to shoot. So you almost want it coming out. Like if that door was cracked open, you would want it coming out the door on the lob serve. So Paul has a lot of space to shoot. I like that you're looking back and watching him shoot. That's good. I like that you're facing the front wall. I would like if your racket was up a little bit more out in front of you and not kind of down, but that's not, just being a little picky there. All right, what happened here? Okay. Paul missed his shot. So here's your opportunity. And this is kind of the difference, between levels like we were talking about. You got an opportunity off of that serve return, and it looks like it just kind of threw you off. Like you were on the defensive, and you really should be this should be more of an offensive opportunity for you. And one of the reasons why is because I think you're a little bit too far forward here. Let's take a look at it in full motion, see if there's anything. I mean, you're doing the best you can. Because you didn't hit a very good lob serve, you're having to get out of his way and get way over to the right. And you're also not able to come back as far as you would probably like to. So you're kind of out of position right here. And see, your racket is down right now. So this is probably the biggest reason why this wasn't an offensive opportunity. That racket's just kind of hanging down below by your knees, and it's in like a backhand. It's not in a position where you're ready to easily strike the ball. So you got to turn your body around to get to the right side. There's also some work to do on the footwork here, on being able to go from having your hips left to your hips facing the right side. That should be an easy, like, just hop over. You know, you can practice just moving from your hips, being squared up to the front wall, to the right wall, and then back to the front wall, and getting that shuffle, that pivot a lot smoother. Okay, so you end up, you're really, like, at a higher level, you're really out of the rally by now, because you gave Paul a really big opportunity. Right now, still pretty far forward. I think you're anticipating Paul to pinch the ball, but you're giving Paul so many options from here. Like, he can easily pass you down the line. He can go wide angle. He can do so much from right here. So I think you're a little bit committed too far forward already. He goes down the line, and to my point, like, if you were back a couple more feet behind that hash line, you could have got that ball. Like, it hit the sidewall. Paul didn't do a really good job to put it away. You could totally have gotten a racket on that ball. Imagine you were standing about 4 feet back from where you are now, and you're watching Paul hit that shot from there, you'd be able to get that ball. Again, going for the cutoff, which is good, but again, you missed the shot on the cutoff. So just more of a consistency and practice thing. And so now you're really lost in this rally, like, at this point already, because you're way out of position. Paul can pinch it. He can do a lot from right here. Paul leaves it out. Okay, so let's talk about drive serve return real quick. You're pretty far forward with the drive serve return position. There are some players, like pros, that play that far forward. Like Andre Perea comes to mind. I've seen him play really far forward on a drive serve return, but the majority of players are hanging back as close as possible to the back wall. And what that does is it gives you more time to read if Paul's going left or right. It's giving you the most time, basically, to get to the ball, and so most players opt for that. The idea of being that far forward is that you would want to cut the ball off at this point, because the ball has to travel, obviously, from the center of the court to the corner of the court, so that angle allows for a cutoff right about this point. And so either way, whether you're standing where you are now or you're standing at the back, you want to come forward at like a 45-degree angle and try to cut that ball off before it gets back into the deep corner. And so, yeah, you ended up kind of going back, and that's a position, like I was just saying, you don't want to be in that position. So you want to be back farther so you can come forward at a 45-degree angle, more or less, into the ball, so you're not reaching back behind you. Okay, so now you're taking position on this setup. You're taking a pretty decent center court position. I still think it's a little bit farther forward than you should be, and I think you should be watching Paul here, because right now you're not looking at Paul. There's so much that you can pick up on as far as reading the shot by just really watching him take the shot. So watch him shoot all the way until the point that he hits the ball. Yeah, it looks like he just caught you totally by surprise there, right? Because you weren't watching him shoot that pinch. Nice, good backhand down the line. 2 bounces by the back wall, that's good. Good return. Okay, well, let's see if you do a better job at watching the ball this time. I want to see if that's a consistent problem. Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty consistent problem on the drive serve. So you're looking away just before you hit the ball. You're still making pretty good contact. Like you're getting the ball's right at about your sweet spot, which is good. It looks like you've just kind of gotten the feel for it without seeing it directly. But it's so much better to watch it hit the strings. Oops. I mean, you look pretty balanced in the drive serve, so that's good. You're not falling over left or right. I mean, the drive serve really does look pretty good, more or less. It just needs to be more consistent. So less shorts, you know. I like that shot a lot. That's great. So you hit a good serve, it's a weak return, and you put it away. That's great. We want to see more of that. All right. So here's a big opportunity, right? You got what you wanted. You got a weak return. But I'd like to say something about the footwork here. So let's look back at it. All right, you get that return. Now I'm like, what I'm thinking at this point is, oh man, I got this ball. Let me get back behind the ball and shuffle into it, and for to make the best out of this opportunity. So what you're doing is you're standing there and waiting for the ball to fall right to you. But what you'll find is better players, they'll get back behind the ball and shuffle into it, and that helps. If you misjudge the ball a little bit. Right now, you have to judge the ball basically perfectly, and that's going to be hard to do because it's got to fall right into your strike zone from where you're standing. So if you shuffle back a couple little shuffle steps and shuffle forward into it, you're going to make sure that ball's in your strike zone. So it's going to be there more consistently. It ends up being okay. Like you end up able to hit a good shot off of this, and you hit a good pinch. And that pinch is a pretty good shot considering where Paul is. Paul's pretty far forward, so I would think about probably going down the line here. But pinch is not bad. He's basically right at your body position or a little bit behind you. Okay, great. So this is another example. You got your opportunity after the serve, and just missed that opportunity. So let's see why you might have missed it. So the serve itself is not great. I mean, you sliced it a little bit, so it came up high. So see, that ball's going from down to up. So you sliced it up, and that left the ball up a little bit high. But Paul was going left, so he still has trouble returning it because he was reading left. So Paul's able to shoot this ball into the right wall. What you're doing a better job here is you're watching Paul hit the ball. So that's better than that other example, right? But now that he's hitting the ball on the sidewall, what you should realize at this point is that you're going to get a setup because he's hitting it into the sidewall and it's high. So I'm thinking, oh, good, great, a setup. And so I'm going to get my feet ready into the setup position. Yeah. And I feel like you're too far forward here, first of all. And it looks like the ball just got to you by surprise. So what I'd like to see here, let's go back again, do this rally again. Okay, what I'd like to see here is you realize at this point you realize at this point that Paul is hitting a weak shot into the right wall. What I'd like to see is you have gotten back a few steps. So when you see that the ball is hitting that right wall, you should know that you need to get back behind the ball again. So where you're standing watching it, I would back up a few steps so you can come into the ball here. And this problem that we're talking about is exactly what happens. You end up reaching for the ball behind you. So this is a big setup. This is a big opportunity to win the point, and you're in like a defensive position trying to get back to it. So you're reaching behind you, and you could have prevented that by getting back first and coming into the ball. Okay, so you hit, because you're reaching back behind you, you're not able to hit a very good shot either. And it looks like at this point, it really looks like you kind of gave up on this rally. Like you're kind of standing just upright. You're not in an athletic position, fighting for center court, trying to get back to the ball. So I'd like to see your knees more bent and you're like right behind Paul, getting ready to go after this ball. And I'd like to see your racket up higher too. Your racket's kind of dropped below your waist again. So I think that's another consistent problem that we're seeing. So let's see what happens here. So you're just kind of standing up still. Paul hits a shot, leaves it up, and it looks like you're not even really going for it. I don't know if you call for a replay here. Let's see, do you call for a replay? No, it looks like you just kind of gave up on that one, right? And if you were in an athletic position, he left that up, you totally could have got that ball. Okay, so the lob serve return right now. I'll say there's some things that I don't like about this lob serve return. First of all, you're not getting back up to the glass. So it's another consistent problem of being in front of the ball. So I would try to get back behind the ball and go for, if you're going to cut it off, go for a ceiling or try to cut it off high down the line or wide angle. But it looks like you quickly just conceded to go to the back wall. Like already at this point, it looks like you decided to go to the back wall already. And I wouldn't like to see that. I'd like to see you trying to get behind the ball and being aggressive with it. The back wall is kind of a last resort. So if you're trying to get back behind the ball and there's just not enough room because the serve is too tight, then you slap it into the back wall. But you're making this decision very early to go into the back wall, and it's a very passive serve return. You can still be defensive and not try to shoot the lob nick, but I would rather see you cut it off with a ceiling ball than trying to go off the back wall. You're going to be way more consistent cutting off a ceiling ball than trying to make a shot off the back wall. Okay, that was good. See, in this rally, you fought for center court, so that's exactly what we're talking about. So you didn't just stand over there upright. You were fighting to get back to center as he was shooting. You got your racket up, and you hit a good shot off of his weak shot. So that's a much better example that we'd like to see more of. Okay, what do I see here? I see a good drive serve. Paul hits a weak shot. But again, here's the higher level thing. You're not going to get that many opportunities when you're playing at a higher level. So you're going to have to look at this weak shot and go, oh man, this is a big juicy setup for me. I'm going to put this away. And so that means getting your feet ready. Let's slowly take a look at how you prepared for the shot. So again, your racket's too low, right? At this point, it looks almost like you're trying to be defensive with it instead of offensive. So I'd be looking at this going, man, this is my offensive opportunity. Paul's in the back left corner. you can easily just, go for a pinch here, or go for a kill, go for the, the cross court pass kill, which it looks like that's basically what you try to do, but you just left it way up too high. Okay, so you're fighting, you're trying to get back to center, that's good, but because you're so far forward, it's going to be easy for Paul to pass you on this shot. And that's exactly what happens. So if we take a look at it, Paul passes you with basically just a touch shot down the wall, just because you're too far forward after that shot. So once you're going for that shot, I mean, you really got to be able to put that away. And that just comes with practice, practice actually doing that, setting yourself up with a shot and then trying to re-kill it so that you're more consistent with these re-kills. I like the drive serve to the right. I mean, it's good. It's just off. Like you're hitting a lot of them short, or you're slicing them high. So it's just practice. That was another one. You just didn't look like you're fully in the rally in an athletic position. So in general, what do I think you could do to help you compete at a higher level? I don't think it's a fundamental thing. I think you have pretty basically good swing mechanics. There's not some obvious hitch in your swing or anything like that is holding you back. I think it's just a matter of drilling and getting to be more consistent with your shots, and then also being in a better ready position, keeping the racket up more, watching the ball hit your strings more. So that is more of a fundamental thing than a mechanics thing. So these are some fundamentals. Watching the ball hit the strings, and then with your footwork and your court positioning, getting back behind the ball and then coming into the ball in general, shuffling 1 or 2 steps into the ball every time. That's going to help you be way more aggressive and able to make more out of these opportunities that you're getting. So those are some quick things that come to mind. Hopefully some of it was helpful for you to take a look at. Hopefully some of the slow motion was helpful as well. But keep it up. You're definitely progressing. I wouldn't let it get you down. Like, there's definitely a big level gap between playing in A's and playing in Open. So it takes a long time to get all these fine details worked out. So wouldn't let it keep you down. I think mentally, as long as you stay in the game and you keep low and you keep trying, then I think you're going to be in a good space mentally. So I don't think that's a big problem either. Okay, thanks, Sharath. Thanks for the video. Hope it helps.